This is part 3 of the Becoming a Professional series. Here are 25 tips that'll help you communicate more professionally. Triple check everything you write at work. Emails, memos, reports, even text messages. Mistakes in grammar or word choice or spelling might imply that you're not that smart after all. And never write anything in text language. Also, avoid emojis and the colloquial expressions of your generation. That's more of a teenager thing. Along the same lines, avoid profanity and off-colored jokes, even if others don't. That's just crass and amateuristic. When sending any written communication, address people with respect. The day you call your boss dude or boss man in an email is the day he mentally categorizes you as just a college student, and an irreverent one at that. And assume that every email you send will be seen by your boss and your CEO and anyone whose name comes up in the email. You'll save yourself countless headaches. Here's a pet peeve. Don't clutter people's inboxes. For example, never hit reply to all unless everyone really needs to see your response. And if you get an email that requires no action on your part, it's often best not to waste their time with a reply of okay or got it or even thanks. You've heard this before, hear it again. Never send an email when you're angry. Don't even write it then. This little tip may save you a job or two over your lifetime. A few things about the phone. Answer the phone professionally. Something like, "Hello, this is Sally Smith in marketing," or "Sally Smith, ABC Corporation." Return calls the same day whenever possible, 24 hours max. Along the same lines, reply promptly to any communication and in the same medium that it was sent to you. When you're leaving a voicemail, say your name and number slowly at the beginning of the message. If you leave more than a 15-second message, say your name and number again at the end. Take personal calls and messages during your breaks, not during work time. Common sense perhaps, but still too uncommon in the modern workplace. When you have someone in your office or cubicle, don't take phone calls or even glance at emails or messages. That's just simple courtesy, and it tells the client or colleague in front of you you're more important. You might like this, you might hate this. It doesn't matter. Learn to make small talk, informal conversation with someone that often precedes more important discussions. It's unprofessional and uncomfortable when somebody's too direct, diving right into the main topic. However, there are some topics to avoid. Oversharing of personal issues is just idiotic, wherever that happens. You've seen that on social media. Don't be that guy or girl in the office. Avoid discussing your wild weekend escapades, too. They might impress your friends, they won't impress most of your colleagues, especially the ones who are stuck at home with the kids. Plus, real pros don't binge. They're more disciplined. Some say never talk about politics or faith issues at work. Yeah, sidestep the political discussions. Too many landmines, and nobody's opinion changes anyway. But if you're a person of faith, you don't have to check that at the office door. Just express it appropriately for your work environment. Remember that nonverbal communication is at least half of what they're hearing from you. So in any meeting or interaction, sit up straight, face the person squarely, and make eye contact for about 80% of the time. Here's another example of nonverbals. Shake hands like an adult. Thumb web to thumb web, firm and confident but not bone-crushing, and look them in the eye. Say your name clearly, remember theirs. Practice this and get good at it. People infer a lot from that moment. And overall in your communications, remember that basic manners go a long way. Please, thank you, excuse me, sorry to interrupt. The absence of these goes a long way too, in the opposite direction. Here are a few bonus tips on conflict resolution. When you have a problem with somebody, work it out face to face. Email and instant messaging often exacerbate the problem. The phone is a little better, but face-to-face is best for conflict resolution, preferably over a meal or coffee. If you have a problem with a coworker, do everything you can to resolve that conflict without involving the boss. That person has enough to do. Plus, you don't want to give the impression that you're a kid who's always running to mom and dad to solve your problems. Yes, there are times to go to the next level or to human resources, but that should be a last resort, not your first line of defense. If you have a problem with several coworkers, consider that a common denominator in all those relationships is you. Mature professionals are self-aware and they realize when they might need to change. You'll find that if you complain about people, it often gets back to them, and in a twisted form that makes things worse. If you trash talk your boss, that can really make life difficult for you. Bottom line, in every interaction, assume that what you say in private will eventually be made public. Gossip, that's making a disparaging remark about someone who's not in the conversation. Wisdom is avoiding that at all costs. And when someone else begins to gossip, diplomatically steer the conversation elsewhere. And lastly, no matter where you work, there are going to be some people who rub you the wrong way. Here's a long-standing success principle. Love the people you're stuck with. It works great. Try it at home and school as well. For more tips on professionalism, check out the other videos in this series.